All right, we just wrapped up week number 3 of the NFL season. An incredible week. I'm going through ranking all 32 teams, 1 through 32. Here are my power rankings heading into week 4 of the season. Let's start into it. Our bottom tier teams 32 through 24. All right, a new team at 32. We got the New Orleans Saints. These are the Saints we've been expecting all season. Absolutely trounced in Seattle. Spencer Rattler still yet to get a win, 0-9 now as a starter, and two guys 0-15. Can he break that mark? We're about to find out, but they're disaster. Miami showed a little bit of fight on Thursday. I liked it. They probably got to change the GM at minimum. Mike did a reasonable job, but Tua's also dreadful out there. The Titans down here at 30, not very good at all. Cam Ward threw a pick 6 to start this game, and it was all downhill from there. The defense isn't very good. Offense is good, and Brian Callahan is the worst head coach in the NFL, I think we can say. I was worried about him going into the season. I think he's replaced Mike McDaniel, probably going to be the first head coach fired. The Jets here at 29. Look, the Jets were winning. The Jets were winning late in the fourth quarter of this game, blocked the field goal, run it back for a touchdown. They got good vibes, but they really don't have a good football team. Tyrod Taylor was okay, but bad turnovers in this game ultimately bite the Jets. Couldn't get the running game going at all either. Giants at 28. I did not like what I saw from the Giants. This is a dead team walking with Russell Wilson at quarterback. They lose Tyrone Tracy. They can't get the ball to Malik Neighbors. Cam Scadaboo runs the man like a psychopath. I do like that. Defense is actually solid. They can rush the passer. They're kind of like spunky. Got to get Jackson Dart in there. There's just no good landing spot for him as well. Carolina at 27. Panthers getting a big win on the season. Good for Carolina, man. Biggest win in over a decade against the Atlanta Falcons. And somehow the Panthers, second place in the division. Look at them now. Bears at 26. Ben Johnson gets his first win as a head coach in the NFL. Dominate Dallas. Dallas's defense is terrible. They made Russell Wilson look like an MVP. They made Caleb Williams look like an MVP today. They didn't really run the ball much. They need to get a running game going. Defense was fine. They did a relatively good job, but some confidence in Caleb. You like to see that in Chicago. New England at 25. Turnovers snake bit this team. They're not very exciting to watch. They're not fun. The defense is fine. Drake May just does 2 or 3 stupid things every game, and it kills this team. And I hate it. I'm a huge Drake May guy. Ramondre Stevenson, send him into the sun, man. Let's let Travion Henderson cook. Still missing a lot of pieces. And Vegas at 24. This is make it or break it week for Vegas. Geno Smith was actually not terrible. The rest of the team was pretty bad. Got a huge hole there. The defense couldn't stop Washington whatsoever. Too many big runs, too many touchdowns out there. Trey Tucker had a nice game, 3 touchdowns. He's still running around out there. But we got to see it, make it or break it week for Vegas. But let's move on to our middle tier teams 23 through 16. Okay, Cleveland here at 23. And look, honestly, the Browns should be 2-1. They threw away that game week 1 against Cincinnati. They stick with their kicker, and it pays dividends. A huge win at home against the vaunted Green Bay Packers. They dominated this game in the trenches, shut down this Packers offense, played complimentary football. Feels like they have an adult at quarterback in Joe Flacco. Well, he's literally like 50 years old, so I would hope that works. But got a good run game with Quinshon Judkins, Myles Garrett, the best pass rusher in football. Browns are spicy. Their defense is good. They're going to win some games, I think, this year. Cincinnati at 22. I'm ready to put Cincinnati much lower here in a second. It was just a bad start for the Bengals. They didn't really have much of a shot. Isaiah Rodgers with the greatest single defensive player performance in the history of the NFL, maybe in a game. 5 turnovers. They had 3 fumbles on 4 straight snaps, something like that. So 3 out of 4 snaps, a fumble. Bengals never really had a shot in this one for them. Dallas at 21. This defense is horrendous. Matt Eberflus clearly can't coach football. He sure as shit can't coach defense. We know that. It was nice. He finally got Caleb, looking good or whatever. Offense, they lose CeeDee Lamb. He's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. They also lose their rookie guard, so some shuffling around. Dak was good early in this game. Run game's really not that bad. Javonte Williams, very solid day on the ground. Did turn the ball over. This team is just kind of weird. Texans here at 20. This is a totally diametric team. This is the best defense maybe in football, top 3 defense. This Texans defense is awesome. This offense is dreadful. Makes my eyes want to bleed. CJ Stroud might be washed. The offensive line is horrendous. We were worried about their offensive line, and it's even worse than we thought it was going to be. Nico Collins with a back-breaking fumble. They can't get any sort of run game going unless Woody Marks turns into, prime Nick Chubb or something, since they got Nick Chubb, and he ain't close to that. I don't know what this Texans team is going to do. Atlanta down to 19, man. Michael Penix, 0-4 when the opposing team scores more than 7 points. That's really bad. That's really bad. He was dreadful against the worst defense in football. Their game plan was bad. They're already firing coaches. There's some weird stuff going on with Atlanta. I think they just caught the Vikings in a good week last week because this offense is weird. They don't get Drake London the ball. The run game is good, but not consistent. Defense, just put in a bad spot. They're young. They're talented. They're just not quite there yet. Arizona at 18, this is what I expected from the Cardinals. I was not super high on the Cardinals after 2-0, and I'm not going to be super low on them when they're 2-1. They probably should have won that game. Weird game. Again, Kyler Murray can't do anything with this offense. They lose James Conner for the year. But Trey Benson's starting to look nice. Maserati Marv, the wheels have fallen off. I mean, just multiple drops, wide open plays, bad stuff from him. Cardinals defense was solid. They got after Mac Jones. Looked like they were going to win that game. It's just the body. I don't think you're ever going to win with Kyler Murray at your quarterback. He's just not that guy. Jags at 17. Jags are an interesting team. They're 2-1. Defense is kind of good. Their offense still is not good. Trevor Lawrence is bad. Trevor Lawrence, cut the hair. Cut the hair. The Travis Hunter pick is looking like a complete bust, at least the trade-up part of it. He's moving to defense. It seems like he's not going to play both ways. Offense seems to be done. Bryant Thomas Jr., I mean, where is this guy? Like missing wanted posters like he's in his own head. Did have the biggest play of this game on offense to ultimately win that game. The running backs are fine. I do think Liam Cohen is a pretty solid head coach, though, so that's positive. And 16, Pittsburgh. Look, Aaron Rodgers can only make 2 throws. He can throw a quick slant or a 20-yard back shoulder that's right away. He can't move. If there's any pressure in the pocket, he's going down or he's getting rid of it quick, and they're not doing anything. It really isn't much of a run game. It was nice to see the Pittsburgh defense kind of get back and find themselves, got after it. New England, they did force 5 turnovers. Now, can you rely on that every week? No. Should they have won this game by more? Yes, but it was nice to see the defense actually stopping the run, actually forcing turnovers. TJ Watt making plays, but a lot of question marks here with Pittsburgh at 16. All right, I'm going to put my Vikings here at 15. A much needed, let out game for the Vikings. Defense was phenomenal. Jake Browning and the Bengals never had a shot. Isaiah Rodgers, like I said, maybe the greatest single defensive performance ever. 2 touchdowns, 2 forced fumbles, a very nice pass breakup. This defense was all over the place. They were mixing up coverages, shutting down T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Guys just weren't even open. Pass rush with 4, one of the best interior pass rushing teams right now in the NFL. And the offense looked a lot better with Carson Wentz, but it also looked a lot better because Christian Darrisaw was back at left tackle. Amazing what an elite left tackle can do for your team. Protection was better. They pounded the rock with Jordan Mason, 116 yards and 2 tutties on the day. So the team looked a little bit more competent with their offensive line a little bit healthier, and Carson Wentz at quarterback. Heading over to Europe for 2 games. Really interested to see what my Vikings look like moving forward. All right, 14, we got the Denver Broncos here. Broncos probably should be 2-1. Tough call against Indianapolis, but did not look great against the Chargers. Nice comeback. They were down 10 points, but this defense isn't quite as good as I think we thought it was going to be. They're still very good, but they're just not this elite, overwhelming unit out there. They gave up the late scores to the Chargers, and you know what? The offense, it's kind of a whole lot of nothing. Like J.K. Dobbins had a nice little drive there, took over the game. Solid game overall. R.J. Harvey, whereabouts unknown. And this passing attack just really isn't there. Cortland Sutton, Mr. Reliable, had a good game. But Bo Nix is kind of just Bo Nix. He's a average, mediocre system quarterback. He's definitely regressed in year 2. He tends to take off a little bit too much. Now, it almost worked for him at the end of that game. Didn't quite get the first down. It does help if you can get the quarterback into a rhythm here, move the ball downfield. I'm just kind of not surprised that Sean Payton overgassed up this team because he is so smug and he thinks so highly of himself. And he's just not that guy, pal. You're not that guy, Sean. So Denver here at 14. Little disappointing so far, but still plenty to play for in the AFC. Okay, Seattle here, 13, did what they wanted to do, supposed to do, blew out the Saints in Seattle. Special teams was awesome in this game. They had a punt return for a touchdown. They almost had a kick return for a touchdown. They almost had a blocked punt for a touchdown. I mean, they had 35 points, 38 points in the first half. They ran 20 plays on offense. They really didn't have to do anything. Sam Darnold, easy game. Take care of the ball, throw it to Jackson Smith-Njigba. Clearly his favorite target. He is feeding the beast out there. What a great fantasy pickup. K9 getting into the end zone again. Running backfield, good for Seattle. Defense is awesome. We knew the Seahawks defense was going to be good. We gassed them up, and they've been excellent this year. So Seattle's really going to regret throwing away that game week 1 at home against San Francisco. But back-to-back wins feeling good about themselves. Interested to see what they do here on a short week against the Cardinals. Okay, 49ers here at 12. They won, but I'm dropping them a few spots. Nick Bosa out for the year with a torn ACL. This team is, I am convinced they built this stadium on an Indian burial ground. Or they're doing deals with the devil to get to the Super Bowl, but they don't win the Super Bowl, and it's costing all their players' health. Like, what is going on in San Francisco? Their entire team is dead, like, every single week. Mac Jones was like Mac Jones, threw an awful interception in fringe field goal range to win this game. They get the stop, they get the safety, but he leads them down 2 minutes. Game winner for Eddie Pinheiro. So 3-0 for the 49ers, despite all the injuries. They're racking up the wins. I just don't know how much longer they can hold this beast together. Robert Saleh is one of the best defensive coaches in football. He's doing great work with that Niners defense. Need to get Brock Purdy back in there. Christian McCaffrey's getting way too many touches. It's so scary. You're worried he's just going to go down right away. Ricky Pearsall emerging is a very nice number one receiving option. So if you can get Kittle back, you get Purdy back. If CMC can stay healthy, keep the offensive line, everybody else healthy, I think we got something here in San Francisco, but a major blow losing Nick Bosa. I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to hold on to this thing. They also haven't faced the best teams in the world. Seattle week one's a very nice win, but they actually had most of their team for that game. So we're going to have to see what the Niners do moving forward. I am concerned that the injuries are finally going to catch up to this team, but I'd much rather be 3-0 than 1-2. Chiefs staying here at 11. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. They don't really have many offensive weapons right now. This team desperately needs to get Rashee Rice back. I mean, if Tyquan Thornton's your number one receiving option, not good. Mahomes has been playing really good this year, but he has to run too much. They can't get any run game going. The Kareem Hunt running's not it. And Isaiah Pacheco, what the hell happened to my guy, Isaiah Pacheco? Chiefs defense still pretty good. They figured out that secondary a little bit. It's not the best in the world, but the defensive line is getting it done, making life difficult for teams, making teams go on long drives. Travis Kelce's washed. He's fat. He wants to be famous. That's cool. He's fighting with Andy Reid. I like that a little bit from Andy Reid. Got to get the team fired up. Major game this week now between the Chiefs and the Ravens. Both teams 1-2. One of them's fallen to 1-3. I don't know if it's going to be the Chiefs. I don't know if it's going to be the Ravens. They're not a fun watch, the Chiefs. They do find a way to take care of business and win games. They kick field goals. They make smart plays. So the Chiefs here at 11 until the wagon really falls off the hill. Yeah, call me crazy. I'm putting the Ravens here at 7. They're 1-2, and I don't think the Ravens are ever going to win a close football game against a good football team. That's 2 games now that they've lost. Fourth quarter fumbles by Derrick Henry in both of their losses that are just backbreakers. Lamar holds on to the ball way too long. The Lions clearly gamed his ass up and played him like a fiddle. Put the spy in there, not even hit the hard pass rushes. Make it look like you're hitting the hard pass rush. Lamar tries to step, Lamar tries to slide. They know you're not throwing it away, and there's a guy waiting right there for you. So Lions defense, who's been, kind of questionable this year, gets just shut down the Ravens. When it mattered, they do end up scoring 30 points, get some in garbage time, but they made life hell for this Ravens offense. They couldn't get the run game going, and the Ravens defense is flat out bad. They're just bad. They get 0 push up front. They can't stop the run. Secondary's atrocious. They can't cover people. They just throw away from Kyle Hamilton and Nate Wiggins, and they just let every other idiot back there try and figure it out. And they're just bad on third down. They're bad pretty much everywhere, and they're bad in close games. Lamar statistically is having a very good season. I just don't like what I've seen so far from the Ravens. Don't really trust them. Huge game next week. They can win me back real quick, but I'm very concerned about the Ravens so far here at number 10. Washington staying here at 9. No Daniels, no problem. They take care of business, beat up on the Raiders, and I actually liked what I saw from the offense. Now, the defense, a little bit concerning. They gave up a ton of big pass plays, especially later in the game, but maybe you say they checked out. They thought this piece was over, but they did a good job on offense. They got the running backs going. All 3 running backs felt like they had some impact on this game. You need to see that, especially after Eckler goes down. Let's get a rotation going. Let's get some guys moving. Cliff Kingsbury's known for a creative rushing attack. Even with all that passing and stuff, he has a creative run game. Got to establish the run. Mariota did his job. Get Terry McLaurin involved. Get Zach Ertz involved. Figure it out. Just get more guys involved out there. Dan Quinn's getting beat up by his own quarterback, and he's playing through it. You love to see it, but I like this performance from Washington a lot. I'm kind of interested to see. This was a team I was down on before the regular season. They've had some up and down moments. Daniels, get the knee healthy. I think Mariota can hold down the fort enough, especially since the bottom of the NFC feels pretty wide open for the wild card spot. Not going to win this division against Philly, but I like Washington here at number 9. Colts here at 8. We live in a world where the Colts might actually be good, guys. They're 3-0 on the season now. They played shitty Miami, shitty Tennessee, solid win against Denver. That a game they probably should have lost, though. You know, they missed that 60-yard field goal, leverage penalty, took advantage of it. But Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, he's been solid this year for the Colts, taking care of business. He's taking his opportunities, pushing the ball when he needs to. Tyler Warren's a stud, man. One of the best young tight ends in the game. He's already maybe a top 5 tight end in this league. He's awesome. And Jonathan Taylor pounding the rock. The offensive line, they lost some pieces on it in the offseason. Doesn't matter. They plug and play. They still look good. They can run the football. JT has been the steal of fantasy. So everything's vibing right now with the Colts on offense. And the defense has been solid. They're playing complementary football. They're getting stops. They're forcing turnovers. I mean, the Colts have still only punted once on the season. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy to think about. And they haven't turned the ball over yet. So really good job from the Colts. Shane Steichen, maybe he is kind of a genius and he just needed anybody. I mean, literally anybody to be a competent quarterback. Daniel Jones leaves New York, looks like Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. So Colts here at number 8. And I think once they start racking up quality wins, more quality wins, they can move up. Big game this week against the Rams. I'm excited to watch it. All right, 2 great performances. I shouldn't say great. 2 very good performances from the Lions the last 2 weeks. I was very happy to see the Lions kind of find back their identity after week 1 against Green Bay. I shouldn't say I'm happy. I hate the Lions, but they looked very good tonight. Now, not playing a very good defense in Chicago and not playing a very good defense in Baltimore, but they had an excellent game plan. They tried to shorten this game up. They were going long drives, 95+ yard drives multiple times in this game. Bleed out clock, keep the ball away from Lamar, punch it into the end zone, play aggressive defense. Look, defense still probably not that good. The pass rush is better with Aiden Hutchinson in there, but they force timely turnovers. They're aggressive. They hit guys a little late. They're flirting on the edge of dirty, as they always are in Detroit. But the aggressive downhill style worked perfectly. They totally outcoached that Ravens team tonight. Really strong win for Detroit. And you know what? I want to see them against a better defense, see if they can get the pass rush. Because Goff, still, if he's comfortable, he's dicing you up. If he's not comfortable, it's not great. The running backs, Monty and Gibbs, huge days for them. The passing game, it feels very just Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown reliant, or maybe a check down to the running back. So teams start keying on that. I want to see if the Lions can open it up like they did towards the end of last year. But very good positive 2 games for the Lions here, bouncing back after a tough week 1. Lions at number 7. Packers here at 6. I'm a coward for moving the Packers up last week. Again, I wasn't very high on the Packers. I was worried about the Packers. I didn't think this offense was very good, and they got massively exposed against the Cleveland Browns. Jordan Love with a horrendous back-breaking interception in this game. I mean, killer for them. I don't know what he was thinking, what he was seeing. They couldn't quite get the run game going. Josh Jacobs, again, I didn't like what I saw from him the first 2 weeks. He looks like the age is starting to get to him. It's not explosive. It's not big plays. The wide receiver core isn't good. It isn't good. It's a bunch of number 2s. Matthew Golden had his best game as a pro. That's positive, but still, this isn't a good receiver core. It's a deep receiver core. There's no elite guys out there. Tucker Kraft's pretty good, but he took a little step back, but Cleveland's a very good defense. The Packers defense did what they needed to do. They got after Cleveland. They held them to basically 3 points in this game. The turnover set up the touchdown for them. So 6 points. They gave up a 55-yard field goal off of a block kick. So really, they basically shut out the Browns. So the defense for the Green Bay did a great job. Micah, such an impact on this defense. Secondary isn't great, but the pass rush covers up for it. And Rashawn Gary as a number 2 rusher is probably the best in the league right now. He's killing it out there, but a dreadful road loss for the Packers. They're going to regret losing this one later in the season if tiebreakers come into play in the division for them. But let's pump the brakes on Green Bay to Santa Clara in February here. Packers at number 6. Okay, Rams up at 5, moving them up a spot because I think the Rams loss is a lot better than the Packers loss. I mean, come on. Rams blew a 19-point lead. That does suck. It actually awoken the Philadelphia Eagles finally because they look like a dead corpse. But you really have to like what you saw from the Rams, especially in the first half. Offense was moving the ball well. They were able to establish the run, and the defense did a pretty good job for 3 quarters. They shut down Saquon Barkley. They struggled to get after Hurts a ton in the second half. Maybe they got winded. They are younger guys, and the secondary couldn't hold up. But come on, 2 blocked field goals in this game, including the game winner that goes back for a meaningless touchdown unless you bet on this game, of course. So Rams should have won this game, even with the blowing the lead, letting the Eagles go ahead by 1. You gotta make that field goal. They replace the blocking scheme. They just get blown up. It gets blocked again. So special teams coach might be on the hot seat. They're clearly going to have to find some new guys to work on the field goal protection because that's just something you can't have happen. I still think the Rams are a very good team. Probably my second favorite team in the NFC. In the playoffs, potentially, I am worried. Ken Stafford and the units hold together. Puka Nacua also, shout out. He's established himself as one of the very top tier elite guys in the NFL. Number 4, the team I think might be the real contender to the Eagles in the NFC. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And look, this team has been banged up. They've been dealing with a lot of health issues, and they're just finding ways to win games. Now, they did almost throw the game away against the Jets, the block field goal for a touchdown. We had a block of Palooza on Sunday, I'll tell you that much. But they do come back. Baker, moneymaker. All my guy does is win games. 3 game-winning field goals inside of a minute in this one, or game-winning scores, I should say, inside of a minute to start the season. You don't see that. Baker's got that clutch gene going. They're super banged up. Mike Evans going to be out for some time, gets a hamstring injury. Defense has been solid. Their run defense is excellent. Secondary is getting better, but the health is a concern. And once they get healthy, they're getting some reinforcements. Tristan Wirfs coming back, it looks like this week, and Chris Godwin. So out goes Mike Evans. In comes Chris Godwin. Emeka Egbuka's been awesome as the rookie wide receiver. The ground game's been strong with Bucky Irving and Rachaad White. And the offensive line, where they've had some issues, getting reinforcement. Tristan Wirfs, like I said, one of the best tackles in the league. So I really like this Buccaneers team. Problem is, what are the competitive level games they're going to be playing late in the season? Because they're probably going to run away with this NFC South. 3-0 on the season. Great start for the Buccaneers here at number 4. Don't look now, but the Chargers may not be the Chargers anymore. Got the Bolts here at number 3. I don't know what happened. Dayton Madison Beer has awoken Justin Herbert. Finally, our Justin Herbert defenders are being vindicated. He has been lights out this season, MVP level stuff. The throws he had late in that game, incredible out there. They do lose Najee Harris for the season with Achilles injuries, which kind of sucks because we saw the emergence of Omarion Hampton, and I really liked the 1-2 punch they had going on that backfield. Now they're going to have to figure some things out. And this Charger defense has been very good. They've been putting pieces together. They lost Khalil Mack for a while there. They're getting stops. They're getting after teams. They're making life difficult. They did potentially almost blow this game for them, but Justin Herbert saves the day. Jim Harbaugh's a damn good head coach. It's really amazing how good of a head coach Jim Harbaugh is. He just wins games. And you know what? They just don't feel like those old Chargers. Old Chargers would have 1,000% lost that game to Denver on Sunday. Not these Chargers, baby. 3-0, feeling good. And in a good AFC West, they are up to a very good start. 2-game lead in the division and 3-0 against the division. Chargers way out in front. Maybe the surprise because I thought they were going to be down, but Chargers here at number 3. Eagles at number 2, I flirted at putting them at number 1 because that was a very nice comeback win for them. But maybe this is what this team needed. Their offense has been so anemic through the first 2 weeks. And these are the question marks about Jalen Hurts. Can he throw the ball? Can he move the ball? Can he actually force a comeback to win the game? Was excellent in the second half here. They finally got the ball to A.J. Brown. 100-plus yards and a tutty for him. Devontae Smith goes in for the game-winning score. And the defense wasn't good in the first half at all. Much better in the second half. Did get a couple of breaks there, fourth down ball that probably should have been a catch, or for a first down, or third down ball, I should say, for a catch. So they did get some breaks there, but they made the plays on special teams, the 2 block field goals, the difference in this game. And go young Jordan Davis, run that puppy back at 300-plus pounds at 18 miles an hour. My man was moving, getting into the end zone, covering that spread, screwing us, but putting an exclamation point on that. So the vibes are immaculate in Philly, 3-0. Once again, Saquon actually had a bad day, and they won the game. So kudos to Philly. Maybe we've awoken the sleeping giant of this Eagles offense, or they're going to go back to this tush-push bullshit. But I hope the Eagles play a lot more like they did in the second half than they did in the first half for these ones. But for now, Eagles here at number 2. Number 1, no surprise, Buffalo Bills. They got the best quarterback playing football right now, and that would be young Josh Allen. Pair that with an excellent rushing attack and James Cook. The offensive line is really good. Miami kept this game close. They have the missed field goal. Felt like the Bills were never actually going to get stopped in this one, get the benefit of the roughing the punter. Defense still a bit of a question mark for this Bills team. You want to see them be able to stop the run and get teams off the field on third down. They haven't been very good at that this year, but they do force turnovers. They can get after the quarterback. And Joey Bosa, shout out, looking like a young Joey Bosa so far. He's had a real impact on this defense. I think you just got to trust the guy who feels like they have the best quarterback right now, and that's Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I'm not going to take too much from a close game on a Thursday against the Dolphins in like a kitchen sink game for Miami. So Bills still here at number 1 until further notice, but that's going to do it for us this week. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who am I too high on? Who am I too low on? I love going back and forth with you guys. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. We got daily sports content for you guys. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool and exclusive perks. Help support me. Allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. If you want to check out one of your teams in person, head on over to SeatGeek.com. Use code afterthereview for $20 off your first purchase. That's after the review at SeatGeek.com for $20 off your first purchase. And if you want more fantasy content, you want to see more of me, head on over to the Catch Fantasy Football. Check out the links down below. We got all the fantasy content you guys could ever need. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.